In this lesson, we will talk about the renewable energy sources in the MENA region and in Libya and see their future potential. The MENA countries are gifted with a huge renewable energy potential. In particular, solar is promising in terms of the geographic distribution. Despite the varying potentials of the MENA countries, this type of energy could be harnessed almost everywhere in the MENA region. This large potential of renewables is strategic for the MENA region, and the upcoming renewable power production may be a real game changer for several countries. While hydropower has been an option for a long time, it can be only used in a few countries where rivers and big water reservoirs can be built. However, other renewable solutions became commercially available quite recently. Solar and wind in particular are now leading the largest scale renewable power production across the region, competing even with the fossil fuel. MENA countries receive a very high number of annual sunshine hours, and the average solar radiation is quite fairly distributed among the region. This means that if we put policy and financial restrictions aside, solar technologies could supply heat and power to almost everyone in the MENA region, even the most remote communities and even the neighboring European countries across the Mediterranean. Still, we are already witnessing an obvious rise in the deployment of solar, and this is mainly because of the falling prices of the PV equipment. The power capacity built in the past 10 years consists of both large-scale plants such as PV plants and concentrated power plants, and small-scale plants such as PV standalone systems. While the small-scale PV systems represent a small share of the total capacity added, it's important to underline that PV-powered standalone systems and mini-grids are becoming the most popular and the cheapest way of producing electricity far from the grid. And according to the International Renewable Energy Agency 2017, it's expected that off-grid rural electrification in the MENA region will be driven mostly by this technology. Some MENA countries have already established a highly ambitious solar power projects. These projects put some countries of the MENA region at the top of the global ranking in terms of installed renewable capacity. For example, the Noor concentrated solar power plant in Morocco with a total capacity of 570 gigawatts. Another example is Suwihan solar power plant in Abu Dhabi with a total capacity of 1,100 gigawatts. In Turkey, and specifically in southeastern Anatolia, the installed capacity of solar system was only 5 gigawatts in 2018, and it went up to 10 gigawatts in 2020. However, solar power in Turkey could increase far more quickly if subsidies from oil and coal were decreased. Libya is very rich in solar energy, and it was planning to generate 300 megawatts of electricity from concentrated solar power plants by 2020. However, the critical situation of Libya was an obstacle from achieving this goal. Compared to solar potential, wind potential is less fairly distributed across the MENA region. The main factor determining the geography of the wind potential is wind speed, which in turn is highly dependent on the pressure and the gradient and the shape of the landscape. Therefore, the presence of deserts and the coastlines play in favor of high wind speeds. In MENA region, the best wind quality can be found in the rugged regions of Sahara and along the coast, and in some parts of East Africa. Similar to solar, we can observe an exponential growth of wind power capacity installed in the MENA region in the past 10 years. And the two biggest wind power markets that are driving this growth are Morocco and Egypt. Again, it's the strong commitment of these countries to the renewable energy policy that is making a difference. Also, wind power in Turkey is gradually expanding in capacity. There was 7 gigawatts generated in 2018, which was 7% of Turkey's electricity. The Energy Ministry in Turkey plans to have another 20 gigawatts installed in 2030. Although the renewable energy sector is far from mature in most of the MENA countries, today more and more countries are setting up targets for renewables. For example, Morocco has set a target of 52% of its electricity to be produced from renewable sources by 2030. And it is planning to go 100% renewable by 2050.